Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Dom Mafia Live, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. EST. I bring you all of the late-breaking NFL news, rumors, mostly Buffalo Bills stuff, Buffalo Bills glazing. It's a new week for Bills fans, all right? It's a new week. Thank God the rest of the AFC East played like absolute shit, all right? This is a beautiful thing. Every team in the AFC East lost, all right? 0-4 for the division, meaning everything that occurred against the Baltimore Ravens was essentially meaningless. And it's even more meaningless as you walk down and you look at it because, number one, they don't have any similar opponents to us whatsoever. This AFC North and AFC East were only playing teams in which where they finished in a similar position from the year before. We're not playing the Browns. We're not playing the Steelers. We're not playing the Bengals. Basically, everyone in the AFC East is just playing one opponent from the AFC North at the end of the day. So, meaning if we had to lose any game whatsoever, it had to be Baltimore, right? That was going to cause I'd say the least amount of pain. Now, did it suck getting blown out? It certainly did. I hate it. It was a terrible taste in my mouth. But in the bigger picture, the grand scheme of things, this was the one that we wanted to drop the L to. Hold on. Let me close my door real fast. Let me close my damn door, and you better smash that like button. Folks, you better smash that like button immediately. You better smash that like button and subscribe to the channel because we want 50,000 subscribers by the end of the season. All right? So close to 30,000 as well. I mean, honestly, like I could just say, let's pound the table for 30,000. But at the end of the day, man, 50 is what we want over here. We shoot for the stars just like the Buffalo Bills are currently shooting for the stars. Now, let me tell you what, folks, all right? If anybody is upset with me with my power rankings, all right, specifically Ravens fans, I tried making this as objective as humanly possible, and this is a week-to-week league. As you guys know, I had them at number 1 last week, and obviously they did drop a couple of spots. Based off of how we perform against the Houston Texans will be based off of how my power rankings read for week 6, but I did put them on Twitter, or X, excuse me. I have to be better about that. I really, really do. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and then we are going to have an open conversation with everybody in the chat. Here are the power rankings right here, folks. The NFL Week 5 power rankings. And if any Ravens fans are in here, and if they're upset that this Buffalo Bills team is just a team below them, I just want to say, I am probably the only content creator, major content creator, and also out of all of the national media, I'm probably one of the few talking heads that has the Ravens above the Buffalo Bills. Almost every single power ranking that I have seen, that's from ESPN, from PFF, from Bleacher Report, you name it, the Buffalo Bills are still at 3 or 4, and they are above the Baltimore Ravens based off of record. However, I attempted, I'd say, to keep it as objective as humanly possible. I didn't feel good about putting the Bills above the Ravens after the ass kicking that they laid on us on Sunday night. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And it's weird, Jack. Honestly, like, I do think it's weird that, I mean, it is what it is, right? Like ESPN, PFF, and Bleacher Report, I think that's probably half the reason why they have it is just because you guys are 2-2, but I have a feeling you guys are about to go on an absolute run. I think I'm going to be okay. Shakir, thank God. Thank God. In case anybody missed it, Shakir was walking off with a walking boot at the end of the Ravens game. Hopefully he's available during the Houston Texans, but at the end of the day, I just want him healthy for the long run. That's basically how these things work out. Dolphins fans are seething. They certainly are. In fact, I haven't even had an opportunity of ranking my top 5 dumpster fire organizations of the year. And I think it might be safe to say that the Miami Dolphins are the worst team in football. Would that be a stretch to say that the Miami Dolphins are the worst team in football? It's between them or the Jacksonville Jaguars. I really don't know. I just want to understand the thought process. Yeah, most definitely. So with the power rankings, this is where I got them right now. Number 10, I have the San Francisco 49ers. They have the injury bug significantly cursing them. All right. So number 10 is where I have them. I'm sure that they can climb up the ranks once they end up getting healthy. And the Seahawks still played the Lions very close. Very, very close. I think the Niners will overcome this. It's just how it is. That's where they are. This Houston Texans team, let's be honest with ourselves. What they tried to do offensively this offseason, on paper, it looked absolutely immaculate. However, they're not putting up the numbers that their roster suggests that they should, right? It doesn't help that Joe Mixon has been hurt. He might be back against the Buffalo Bills, but Cam Akers is not that dude. And their defense can't stop the run. And their defense has secondary issues, solid pass rush, and their offensive line is having significant issues as well. So I have the Texans at 9. Commanders, defense is absolute dog shit, but Jaden Daniels is playing like a damn crazy person right now. He is clearly in the lead for the Rookie of the Year. You can't change my mind on that. So I have the Commanders at 8. Best team in the NFC East, bar none. Seattle Seahawks, number 7, still a quality team. They lost to the Detroit Lions, but I mean, when Jared Goff's going out there and throwing a perfect completion percentage, how the hell would you expect a team to lose to that? He was dialing last night. Still very high in the Seahawks. Bills I have at 6, just because this Bills team struggles against teams that are overly physical, right? And weeks 1 through week 3, we scored over 100 points. It would feel terrible for me to put them any lower than this. Let me see how they play the Houston Texans this week, and I will get back to you. Baltimore Ravens, solid team, solid performance, solid run game. When you hand the ball off to Derrick Henry 20, 25 plus times, that's a recipe for success. It really, really is, until you end up playing teams that can match your physicality. When you looked at the Baltimore Ravens starting off 0-2, massive difference in handoffs from Derrick Henry. If they want to continue their domination, Henry needs to be like that main focal point like they had it. So I have them at 5. Very high on them. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know they lost the stinker to the Denver Broncos, but they responded last week. Baker Mayfield is in the MVP conversation. 3, the Detroit Lions are going off right now. Love the Lions. And of course, the Kansas City Chiefs, although they're winning very ugly games right now, they are in body bags right now, folks. They are quite literally in body bags. Lost Rashee Rice, thanks to Patrick Mahomes for tearing his MCL, for tackling his own receiver. Then obviously Hollywood Brown is out for the season, and Isaiah Pacheco is not going to be back until like week 7, week 8. With Travis Kelce, doesn't seem to be the exact same player. So I see them dropping a couple of games moving forward. And then number one is the Minnesota Vikings. Give me a break. Sam Darnold's out here playing MVP ball, baby. And listen, I feel bad for all Vikings fans because I said that this team was going to be absolute garbage, man. I said that they were going to be in the basement of the NFC North, and damn, do I look like an idiot. I'm going to be the biggest Vikings fan on the face of the planet. This Sunday morning in London. Take care of the Jets for us. Let's make it happen. Derek is him, and that's the beauty of the Ravens right now. And the Commanders in front of the Texans and the 49ers is blasphemy. I don't know. I don't know, dude. Because right now, Jaden Daniels is starting off hotter than CJ Stroud started off last year. That is not a complete stretch. And they traded away one of their best wide receivers in Jahan Dotson. He's only doing it with Terry McLaurin. I mean, listen, give flowers where flowers need to be said. Listen, I'm sorry, but what Jaden Daniels is doing with his supporting cast and zero defense, by the way, is a hell of a lot more important than what the super team that the Houston Texans have put together. What the Houston Texans have put together, man, at the end of the day. And so I'll put the Ravens 4, Bills 5, Bucks 6, but I can't be mad at this list. Every game is going to look entirely different because we have so many weapons and each team wants to contain the two uniforms in the back. Can't guard everybody. Geno was the best QB from that class. Who would have guessed? I have no idea. I agree. Bucks at 6. Darnold was in the wrong systems. It's crazy how that plays out, right? It's crazy how that plays out. I am a sucker for a feel-good story. I am a sucker for a comeback story. I have trashed Sam Darnold all my years as a content creator, and I'm so glad that he's proved me wrong. It's absolutely beautiful. Dan, I am disappointed that you just sat there and let Richie dog Allen over the game when Lamar did absolutely nothing. 150 yards passing, give Allen a back that can rush for 200 yards. Listen here, Brandon Day. I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to explain this to you. I have been working with Richie and TD Finstock for a long time. Long time. And I'm tired, man. I am tired of having to sit back and preach the obvious to them every single Wednesday night, right? This AFC's roundtable shows have been going 4 hours on Wednesday night. And if I have any hope of falling asleep at a reasonable time on Wednesday, sometimes I just need them to go back and look like absolute morons. That's basically how this all plays out, right? Each and every single year they do this. Each and every single year they go off and they get on their pedestal and they talk shit about the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. But what always happens, Brandon? I am always the one that is correct. I give my take immediately. But then afterwards, once they double down and they try to do that, like, look, bro, like, I got things to do. I don't have time to argue with delusional people. I just don't have time for it. All you need to know is that I am collecting receipts. I am collecting receipts. When the Buffalo Bills are on top of the AFC East this year for the 5th year in a row, I am going to be sitting back with a smirk on my face. That is exactly why I don't go after them as heavy as I typically do, because I got to go to sleep. These AFC's roundtable shows are 4 hours, man. They're 4 hours. And if I were to battle delusion, it would be a 24-hour stream. And I ain't got time for that. Max Dober. Dan, last week you said not to kick TD when he's down, but can you think of a better time to kick him? Go Bills. Yes. Right now, everybody can troll TD as heavy as they would like. As heavy as they would like. That's 110%. Y'all have my blessing. That's how it works. Well, now I don't feel as bad losing to Minnesota. I like it, Tyler. Darnold, Goof, Baker, Geno, all victims of bad organizations and stupid coaches. Curtis Samuel is underperforming so far. He certainly is. Sam Darnold is about to make the Jets defense see ghosts Sunday morning. He keeps his head on straight, and that's what he did. Where was Josh at? Your boy TD Finstock was hurt last night. Dude straight up was tearing up. I know, man. Listen, it's absolutely terrible. Dan has to be Magnumos. All right. Honestly, dude, I sound absolutely stupid for not knowing what that means, but I'm going to look it up. Listen, I always reserve the right to get smarter, baby. Magnumos. Generous or forgiving, especially toward a rival or less powerful person. I love that, bro. Listen, that is me all day. That is me all day. Monogamous. Magnanimous. I love that. All right, dude. Magnanimous. You're right. I am magnanimous. I am forgiving to a rival that is weaker. Yes, most definitely. I pity the weak. That's exactly what it is. Magnanimous. Beautiful, baby. Thank you for the vocabulary lesson. I sincerely appreciate that. Craig Ellsworth, still licking my wounds from Sunday night. Craig, let me tell you what. What champions do is that we get up and we move forward and we look ahead, my friends. I promise you this will not be the last time we play the Baltimore Ravens. I promise you this will not be the last time that we play the Baltimore Ravens. And I really hope that we end up showing up and get the revenge that I feel like we need to get. You know what I'm saying? Craig, thank you so much for the donation, man. You are an absolute stud when it comes into it, man. You are fine. And then plus, Craig, also, this is how you got to look at it. It's absolutely meaningless when it comes into winning the division, right? Brandon Beane has said multiple times, this Buffalo Bills team was built to beat the division and compete against the division and to compete against the Kansas City Chiefs. Beane has said that a million times. He said, this team was built to compete with the division and to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. That is all it is. That is all it is. So, yes, of course, we are not going to be able to match up against the AFC North. I mean, dude, look at Brandon Beane's track record against teams from the AFC North, right? Like, we get beat down by the Bengals. We get beat down. So we end up getting beat down by the Ravens and the Browns a couple of years back when we had with Baker Mayfield. Steelers always give us trouble. And the only reason why we ran away from that Steelers playoff game last year was probably because TJ Watt was out. We're just not built to compete with the AFC North. But what we are built to compete with are teams like the Kansas City Chiefs and the division. And winning the division is the first step. Once we win this division, then we end up having an entire new game plan into the playoffs. Step number one is in the division. And thank God each and every single team in this division ended up losing. Nothing changed. The Buffalo Bills, where it stands right now, are still on top of the AFC East. And what I will tell you is this Minnesota Vikings team is undefeated in London. And this Minnesota Vikings team is undefeated in general right now with Sam Darnold. They are very hot. This defense is absolutely crazy. I'll be completely honest with you, man. I got the Vikings beating the New York Jets in London. I really, really do. And all I'm going to say is that I hope that we end up taking care of business against the Houston Texans, walk in there and secure a 2-game lead into it. Google is a great thing. It certainly is. STD had very funny reactions. That penalty where Tennessee got the ball inside the 10-yard line. First time I saw that. Listen, man, let me tell you what. My good friend Finstalk, Mr. TD Finstalk, Tony Dow, has the best reactions on YouTube when it comes into his team absolutely playing like shit. There's nothing that compares to it. How Miami looks is exposing McDaniel's flaws big time. Absolutely. I saw a tweet about the 2020 Bills compared to this year's Bills. In 2020, we started 4-0 and then got blown out by the Titans and let Derrick Henry run all over us. Sounds pretty similar to this year. Khalil Shakir. Is this history repeating itself? Because I think we all know what happened that year, right? I'm pretty sure the Buffalo Bills ended up making the AFC Championship. So maybe history is repeating itself. It would have felt a little better if we were 4-0 and this happened to us. But at the end of the day, we're 3-1. I'm feeling very, very confident about this. Shakir is coming in and he's telling us that history has repeated itself. This is what we have to look forward to, man. This is a beautiful thing. 137 of you watching me right now this morning. Thank you so much, guys. If you are new here, I am live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. EST, giving you all of the late-breaking NFL news, things that need to be discussed. Do me a favor. If you are on YouTube, smash that like button right now. We want at least 150 like buttons smashed before the end of this stream, before I end up calling it a day. And we want 20 new subscribers right now, folks. 20 new subscribers per stream. 50,000 subs is the goal right now. So do us a favor and knock it out. Subscribe to the channel and turn on bell notifications. I'm going to be keeping you entertained all year, not just during the season, but during the off season as well. I'm always live and I'm always giving you the love. That's basically how that plays out. I will be on my high horse if going into week 7, the Bills are 5-1 and the Jets are 2-4. TD is finna talk needs to go. He's not got through info. He's got the inside info. That's what I said to Shakir. That's what I said too, Shakir. Yeah, he comes here after practice to chat and reminds me of the Titans game from 2020 or the Colts game from 2021. I've always got that inside info. Listen, man, we got Shakir in the building right now. He's hanging out, bro. Hopefully your ankle is completely fine, my guy. Not mad. We just don't build around our quarterback. No weapons, but Cook and Shakir. We've needed speed the past 5 years. Look at that. You need TD for that chemistry. We certainly do. Morning, Dan. So it is time to make a phone call to Hyde. Go Bills. Philip Castro III is coming in with a wonderful question. Listen, I think Cole Bishop actually did well with his opportunities against the Baltimore Ravens. I felt a lot more comfortable about our safety room when he was out there. And I feel like Mike Edwards is a completely fine safety. If, for example, we have yet another injury in that, like say Mike Edwards goes down, then you bet your bottom dollar, my friend, we should certainly give a call to Micah Hyde, right? Now, there are a couple of players that could potentially be on the trade block here within a couple of weeks. One that is very interesting to me is Budda Baker out of the Arizona Cardinals. If the Cardinals keep going on this losing streak, I would be 110% fine with sending over a bag to Budda Baker, sending over a pick package for that safety. I'd be completely fine. Although that I still feel like safeties really aren't that important, to be completely honest with you. Good morning, Dan. It's a better day knowing everyone in the AFC East lost. Absolutely, man. It's a solid day. Wasted Coleman for Worthy. Look at the TD ratio between the two. Senke Chandler is coming in. I would have to disagree with you. I would have to disagree with you right now. With Coleman has already made crazy contested catches so far, and that's something that this team has needed for a very long time. So I wholeheartedly disagree with you, man. I am still team Keon Coleman, and you just wait. He has already proven that this dude can make plays when you need him to. Solid contested catches. Sure, I wanted him to catch that touchdown pass or would-be touchdown pass last night, but he is a rookie. Things happen already. Holy shit, Dan has us at number 1. I do, Sarah. William Davenport, how are the Steelers not in your top 10? Fields is getting better, and our defense just wasn't prepared for Flacco, and officials were awful, man. TJ got held about 6 times, and Minka BS. I mean, listen, dude, I'll tell you what. I like the Steelers defensively. I really, really do. As far as offensively and consistently putting up enough points when you're going up against an offense that can have answers against your defense, that's why they're not. But, I have the Steelers at 11, and so to start off. And so I wish we had Julian Blackmon. Wouldn't that have been nice? Just for that. And so I wish your Bills a victory against Diva Diggs. Thank you so much, Sarah. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I sincerely hope that we punch them in the mouth. That is what I am hoping for. I honestly don't think Worthy has been that good. He's going to have a chance to prove himself with Bryce and Hollywood Brown out. Listen, dude, he's really going to have to prove himself right now because this Chiefs team has lost all of their number 1 and number 2 receivers and number 1 running back. So get back to me. Get back to me when I see how Worthy does as the sole weapon over in Kansas City. He's going to be having his opportunity. Worthy and Coleman have same stats. Worthy just got 2 more touchdowns. Exact same stats, man. Exact same stats outside of the touchdowns. You know whose ass? The Steelers. TDs win games. And did you notice that 4 teams that played last night and the Bills have on the remainder of their schedule? And did you notice that the 4 teams that played last night, the Bills have on the remainder of their schedule? Yeah, man, most definitely. So this Seattle Seahawks game is going to be tough. So is the Lions game, Finns, and then also the Titans. So to begin with. So we're going to be having some games here. Oh, we got a Ravens fan in the chat. What's up, Orlando? How you doing, man? Hope all is well. Steelers are going to have another type of 12-win season and get bounced out of the playoffs. Their quarterback is Justin Fields, and he isn't him. Russ is, but he needs to go to the glue factory. I would not say that Russ is him. It's very hard for me to admit that Russ is anywhere close to him. You know what I'm saying? I think Russell Wilson might actually be traded. Maybe he's traded over to the Patriots. Maybe he's traded over to the Miami Dolphins. I'm not necessarily sure, but we will see. AJ Klein has entered the chat. No, he is not. Block AJ Klein from this chat immediately. Thank you. Dan, why you laugh when you're reading all of the Chiefs' injuries? I do it because I'm a jerk. LOL at Frankie. Mediocre Steelers. Why don't you laugh? Oh, no, man. Listen, I don't laugh at any injury whatsoever. It's more of a fact, like, can Xavier Worthy step up as the wide receiver one? And not only as wide receiver one, I'm talking, can he step up as the only weapon for the Kansas City Chiefs? Him and Juju Smith-Schuster. What's going to go on right there? We're going to see. But Andy Reid certainly has a challenge ahead of him. Can he make it happen? I don't know. And the Mad Chatters, Steelers ass LOL. I will take first in the division, and we will have a 2-game lead when the Bengals beat the Ravens and we beat them Cowboys. I mean, listen, don't sleep on the Steelers, man. I could 1,000% see them winning this AFC North. I really, really do. Because remember, this Pittsburgh Steelers team went 5-1 last year in their division. This Pittsburgh Steelers team owns the AFC North. They were built to compete against the AFC North. It's just how it is. Like, they always take care of business against the Browns, the Bengals, and the Baltimore Ravens. It's just how it is. Mike Tomlin is that dude. He is that dude, man. He plays physical-ass football, and he has the number of every single team in the AFC North. So don't sleep on the Pittsburgh Steelers for winning this division. I can see them stocking up their wins this year. I really do. We need to get more out of MVS and Samuel or address it by the deadline. I mean, listen, I feel like this team so far, weeks 1 through 3, Josh Allen has thrown a pass to 10 different receivers. I mean, listen, Senke, I feel like everyone's obsessed with having like a number one wide receiver. And if you think that us not having a number one wide receiver was the reason that we lost to the Baltimore Ravens, that's probably one of the least, that's probably so low on the reasons list of why we lost to the Baltimore Ravens. It's just how it is. We couldn't establish the run to save our lives, right? And even when we did, we had to give up because we had to play a game of catch up. This was all a flat offensive coordinator calling approach. It was horribly game planned. It was horribly play called. Us losing to the Baltimore Ravens has absolutely nothing. Hear me out one more time. Absolutely nothing to do with wide receivers at all. At all. Tyler H., I have a question for you, Dan. Why does McDermott use Alec Anderson at center to replace McGovern when he got hurt, but make Will Clapp inactive and we have Cedric Van Prank Granger as a rookie? I'll tell you what, Tyler H., he probably just doesn't trust them. So Will Clapp was just only on the active roster for less than a week. And then Cedric Van Prank Granger, he is a rookie, right? And it's not all Sean McDermott, right, guys? Like, you need to understand that these positional coaches have a say. Sean McDermott doesn't have time to look at each and every single position group. He just hires the right people to tell him who should I have in the depth chart right now, right? It is Sean McDermott's call ultimately, but this was 1,000% on Aaron Kromer. Kromer believes that Alec Anderson is the better center number 2 than Cedric Van Prank Granger. And that's just what we need to accept, right? It's just how it is. Is it possible to send Bass down to the practice squad if we sign someone else, or would we have to cut him? I personally think we should look at some kickers out of college or the XFL. I mean, listen, Bass is a massive issue. He gives me anxiety each and every single time that he lines up for a field goal. He has the yips. It's just how it is, man. He has the yips. Can he overcome it? That's an entire different question. But he's going to have to miss one in like a crucial game. And I hope that we don't wait for the playoffs for this. It's either that he gets hot, and I'm talking real hot, or otherwise you're damn right. I am going to want to have as many workouts as humanly possible for as many available kickers that were undrafted out of college or out of the XFL, out of the damn Canadian Football League, for God's sakes. I don't give a shit. Let's make it happen. Lino TV is coming on in. What's up? This coming Wednesday, I'm going to be on TD's head like that tight-ass hat he was wearing. Lino TV. You're right. You're absolutely right. He's the AFC's Jake Moody. I know, dude. He kills me, Tyler Bass, man. He absolutely drives me crazy. What's your take on the Josh Allen versus Diggs week? We have William Davenport. I'll be honest with you. I want this game so much. This game has been circled on the Buffalo Bills schedule ever since it came out. And most importantly, I just want people to shut the fuck up. And that's including Bills fans. They're like, oh my God, we don't have a wide receiver number one. Like, I want people to shut the fuck up. That's why I want the Buffalo Bills to win this game. So people will shut their fucking trap. It's so annoying. All season. Oh, wide receiver one, wide receiver one. No. I want this game more than anything. Now I am planning on dropping a full-scale preview. I really need to dive into the numbers. I'm bringing on a Houston Texans YouTuber to understand his thought process. But this team is not the Baltimore Ravens, right? It's a very similar team to the Miami Dolphins offensively, although that Houston Texans are obviously better executors. They're a better team and they're better coached, but they're literally all wide receivers. I'm not sure about Joe Mixon, whether or not that he's going to be able to play, but I really like how the Bills match up against this team. I really, really do. I'm crazy. Let me see. It's crazy how one center messes the whole team up. I was sweating on that 50-yard attempt. We should cook Texans if we can stop Collins and if Mixon is out. Listen, man, say, for example, that we have Christian Benford on Nico Collins. I am completely fine. I'm fine with Stephon Diggs grabbing his touchdown. But, like, here's the biggest issue when it comes into the Houston Texans is their offensive line, right? Here. Offensive line grades 2024. Let me see. Let's check this out real fast. So the biggest issue that nobody's talking about for the Houston Texans largely has to do with the fact that they are one of the most penalized teams in all of football. Like, their offensive line is drawing more penalties than we have ever seen in our entire life. And they're not protecting CJ Stroud. Let me see. How many times is CJ Stroud been? Well, actually, I'll just go to PFF. I'm just going to go to PFF real fast. The handy dandy PFF. Let me see. All right, so far in 2024, he's been sacked 13 times. Holy shit, he's been sacked 13 times. He's still doing well, but he's been getting sacked a lot. It's just how it is, man. 13 times he's been sacked. How many times has CJ Stroud been sacked? He's been sacked 13 times. He's tied for fifth most with Gardner Minshew, the Las Vegas Raiders. 36% of his dropbacks, which is seventh most. 10, which is fourth most. Unblocked sacks. 3 of sacks against Stroud have been unblocked. Like, yeah, dude. Like, his offensive line is letting up 36% of sacks moving into it. So this team is just going to have to set up. Per Dog is evolving. What's up, Dan? What's up, man? How you doing? Terran Bernard should play. I hope so. I really, really hope so, Senke. Glad the Miami Dolphins got beat bad yesterday. Per Dog is evolving. This needs to be said. Josh Allen is the closest to Brady, and I never liked Brady, but these two quarterbacks can bring the most out of nobodies. Josh deserves a ring. Still go Steelers. William Davenport, man. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much for showing a little bit of love, man, dude. We got some Steelers fans in here. I'm not sure if I would go as far as Tom Brady. Obviously, we need some rings here and before I could have the conversation. But as far as talent, I would have to agree with you. He's a talented QB. But I really want him to take a step up and have a hell of a game against the Houston Texans before I start saying that. We're going to have to see. When Milano is coming back in December, when he does, it's going to be crazy. We've heard that he'll be back by December, maybe late November, which would be almost perfect timing. That's what we thought with the Ravens O-line too. We thought our D can handle it. But here's the difference, right? So I want everyone that's looking at this game for the Baltimore Ravens, right? They ran the ball so effectively against this Buffalo Bills team because there were two guys in that backfield that could absolutely scorch you with their legs, right? You have Lamar Jackson and you have Derrick Henry. It is very difficult to game plan and stopping the run when you don't know which one of those players is going to screw you, right? Like, you don't know which one of those players is going to absolutely burn you, right? So it makes it that much more difficult to plan against. That's number one. Number two, Sean McDermott typically he allows teams to march down the field and score immediately because you want to know why? He wants to get their entire game plan and figure out what they are going to do to attack your defense. And he adjusts. That's why he is so good at adjusting. Why that didn't work out against the Baltimore Ravens is because they ended up taking it to the house the very first drive, right? So he didn't have time to bait this team, figure out their overall game plan, and have answers. By the time he had answers, it was too late, and the Bills' offense started off slow, right? Like, that's why there's so many times where the Bills don't get started until about like halfway through the game into the third or even the fourth quarter. But really, at the end of the day, I would not worry about this team having to play a team like the Baltimore Ravens for the next couple of weeks because it is so difficult. Like, let's remember how close this Arizona Cardinals team played this Buffalo Bills team, right? Like, make no mistake, this Cardinals team played us close. And why they did is because they also had a similar run scheme, right? They had James Conner, who's a hell of a running back, and they have a running quarterback in Kyler Murray. This team just struggles in being able to circumvent that and battle that when you have two massive threats in the run game. So don't look at this Baltimore Ravens game as a litmus test or as something for us to say, oh, shit, we're going to be in trouble, because look what Baltimore did with their bad offensive line. And again, when it comes into Baltimore Ravens offensive line, were they bad at the beginning of the season? Yes. Did that mean that they were going to be bad for the remainder of the year? No, because they had three new pieces. It was just going to take time for them to gather some sort of chemistry and figure out the right way up. It's hard to adjust to a 300-pound fullback and King Henry and, oh yeah, Lamar. I mean, listen, really at the end of the day, it's just how it is. Like, so I'm not worried about this Houston Texans rush attack because, number one, we don't know if Mixon's going to be back. Say that it's Cam Akers and say that it's CJ Stroud, who is not a mobile quarterback. He's a pocket passer. He's been sacked 13 times already. And this is the most penalized team in all of the NFL with Houston. This is not going to be a mismatch nightmare like it was against the Baltimore Ravens at the end of the day. And did you see the new signing who got cut to make the room? I did see the new signing. I have no idea who the hell he is, and I don't know who is cut yet. And to be completely honest with you, nothing funnier than watching TD Soul leave his body when the Finns lose. We've been seeing quite a bit of that all season, and it's a beautiful thing. Oh, man, 157 of you in here rocking with me already, guys. 88 of you on YouTube, 69 of you on X. Do me a favor, guys. Smash that like button as we come on in. We're doing power rankings, as you can see on the screen. And then also we're going to see what else is going on in the world of the X-verse, man. This is a beautiful thing. Let me see what's up because we did end up signing a new player. He's a practice squad guy, folks. He's a practice squad guy. Logue is 6'6", 314 pounds. When you sign someone from another team's practice squad, he must immediately go to the 53-man roster, which means another roster move needs to be made to make room. Okay, so we haven't gotten rid of anybody yet. That's the thing. We haven't gotten rid of anybody yet. Purdy is good for an NFC quarterback, not wasting time on haters anymore. F them. And so our pass rush is starting to worry me. Ed Oliver and Daquan Jones, for the most part, invisible this season. And where is Epinesa? I wouldn't say that they've been invisible. First three games, Ed Oliver and Daquan have been absolutely incredible. But so they just didn't record a single tackle against Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. But like I said, this entire team was just unprepared. Maybe Eli Anku. And Purdy has a star-studded offense. Oh, man, listen. Shout out to the 49ers fans in the chat showing a little bit of love. Oh man, let's make this happen. All right, guys. So I just wanted to hop on real fast and do a quick power rankings video. I'm gonna go on ahead and I'm gonna chill for a little bit. I have some things I got to do for Roundtable Sports, and then later this afternoon I will be on BetUS TV's The Huddle. In case you are unfamiliar with that, I have an NFL show where I am with Richie and TD Finstock. This is gonna be the first time that we see TD Finstock after the Dolphins have fallen 1-3. So it should be a great episode unpacking all of the league's news that we enjoy, baby. We suck it in. We inject it in the veins, man. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And before I let you go, you better always remember, let's go Buffalo.